Today we are going to study an interesting poem, Ulysses, written by Alfred Tennyson. Here is the image of the poet. He was a British poet. He was born on 6th August 1809. He passed away on 6th October 1892. He became the poet laureate in 1850. He remained on this post till 1892, till his death. He wrote many books. The first book was published in 1842. In Memoriam was published in 1850. Ideals of the King was published in 1859. He was a representative poet of the Victorian age. When I say that he is a representative poet of Victorian age, his poetry includes the certain values of that time, of that era. There are two major poets of the Victorian era. One is Robert Browning, and the second, the poet himself. His poetry includes the spirit of courage. His poetry includes the glorification of the past, and there are certain intellectual current of that time. In his poetry, we see an engagement with the past. Here, the poem Ulysses is written in the form of dramatic monologue. Ulysses is the speaker. He was the king of Ithaca. He fought for 10 years in the Trojan War. He fought for another years, 10 years in another battles. And after the journey of 20 years, he came back to Ithaca. He found that everything had changed. The people have changed. And the speaker, Ulysses, speaks in this poem. It little profits that an idle king, he finds that the life at Ithaca does not profit him, is not beneficial to him. The king is very idle, the king is lazy, and he is not burning with the spirit of courage. The earth is silent means is not burning with the spirit of courage and inquiry. And you find that the rocks of that area are barren, there is no fertility. And he also finds that match with an aged wife. He says that his wife has become old. The name of this wife is Penelope. And he said he finds that everything has changed. And he also finds the unequal laws unto a savagery. The people of Ithaca have become uncivilized, and the laws are not clear. And the people of Ithaca are busy in hoarding, sleeping, and feeding themselves. And they fail to understand the spirit of Ulysses. And Ulysses says, no, not me. Ulysses further says, he speaks, I cannot rest from travel. He said that all the time he was a traveler, all the time he was a fighter, all the time he was a warrior. That's why he says he cannot stop himself from traveling. He said that I will drink life to the least. It means he wants to experience life to the last breath, to the last minute. And he said that he wants to drink life to the means he wants to experience the every minute of life. He wants to do something great till the last breath of his life. And he further says, he further speaks, all times have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. In what manner Ulysses is talking about his past, that in the battlefields, he fought greatly, he suffered greatly. And he was in the company of the person, those who loved him, or either he was alone on the bank of the sea, on the surface of the sea. All the time he faced bravely, he fought bravely. He gave a tough fight to the opposition. And he says that through these cutting trips, the rainy heights vexed the deep sea. When the sea was vexed, when the sea was disturbed, there was a storm in the sea. He fought bravely. He moved his ship with courage, with power. I am became a name. He said that his name was popular for courage, for spirit, for inquiry spirit, for wandering spirit. All the time, for always roaming with a hungry heart, much I have seen and known. He said that all the time he was hungry for the new travels. All the time he was busy for the journey, for going on. He said during his travels, he says, during his journey, much have I seen and known the cities of men and manners, climates and council, governments. He said that throughout his journey, throughout his traveling, he happened to meet the people of different cities. He happened to meet the people of different civilization, culture. He happens to meet the people of different climates and councils. He also happened to meet the people of the different governments. He went everywhere, myself not least, but honored of them all. That Ulysses declares wherever he went, he was honored by them, he was respected by them. In this manner, Ulysses is talking about his courage, about his journey, about his knowledge of wandering, of traveling. He further declares, drunk delight of battle with my peers, with equal persons. He said, in the battlefield, he fought bravely with the great fighters of his time. Drunk delight means took the pleasure of the war, took the pleasure of the battle with the equal power of warriors. For, the, for on the ringing plains of windy Troy, he recalls the Trojan War. When the Trojan War, he fought bravely in the stormy Trojan War, in the battlefield of the Trojan War. When the swords were ringing in the battlefield, he was there. He fought bravely with the people of the equal strength and power. I'm part of all that I have met. He said that he has become of that courage, means he is the part of that he has passed, he has experienced. That's why he says that all experience is an arc where through glimpse that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. He said through the gate of experience. He happens to see the untraveled land. The land is not traveled. The world is not traveled. The world is not traveled. That's why he says that through the gate of experience, he wants to go further and further. And he says he wants to go where the margins of traveling ends, fades away. Forever and forever when I move. All the time he says that when he moves, when he goes, he goes to travel. He said he goes to search with courage. And he says, when I move, how dull it is to pause to make an end. Ulysses speaks that to stop is just like the activities, dull activities. Life is stopped. Activities are stopped. Man becomes idle. That's why I say that it is very dull to stop. It is the end of life. The life is rusted. When the sword is not in use, it does not shine, it becomes rusted. In the same manner, Ulysses said when the life is not in use, when the life is not in traveling, life becomes dull, it is not fruitful. As though to breathe for life, life piled on life for all too little, and one of me little remains. That throughout the life, life after life piled on life means life after life, he traveled and traveled. He was on the journey, he was on the surface of the journey. He said, only the little part of life is left. Little remains, but every hour is saved, every minute is saved from the jaws of death. See in what manner the writer presents the courage, the spirit of Ulysses. The storm, the sea is full of storm. The sea is dangerous, and the ship is on the surface of the sea. And in that manner, the poet reminds us the courage of Ulysses. And that says that the little life is left. Only the last part of life is left. And from that eternal silence, he said that this life is saved from the death. He said all the time he happened to see death before him on the battlefield, on the ringing battlefields of Trojan War. This life is the only the little part of life that is saved from the death. Something more. He said, okay, only little life is left. You want to something great, a bringer of new things. He wants to become a messenger of new knowledge. He wants to become the bringer of new things. He declares that while it were for some 3 sons to store and hold myself, he said it would be very dull, it would be very dangerous, it would be very poor to all the time to store something and to hold up for themselves, not doing anything great. And he says he yearns, he desires that this gray spirit means that he realizes that he is reaching to the old age. Gray spirit, yearning desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star. He says that he compares himself to it like a sinking star. When a star is about to sink, it shines brighter. In the same manner, Ulysses realizes that he is reaching to the old age, and before death, he wants to something great. He wants to he wants to shine brighter like the sinking star. Beyond the utmost bound of human thought, he wants to go on the journey of knowledge. He wants to go on the journey of inquiry. In that manner, writer presents the character of Ulysses. Ulysses comes to the present. He addresses his son and he praises his son and says, "This is my son, my own Telemachus, to my leave the spectre and the thistle." See in what manner Ulysses praises his son, that in his absence, he left the power of ruling, he left the power of spectre to his son, he left the island in the charge of Telemachus. He said, well loved of me. He said that he loved him greatly. In his absence, discerning to fulfill the slave, all he discerned, he discharged his duties honestly. By slow wisdom to make mild the rust people, he said that with wisdom, with prudence, he tried to make the people of Ithaca civilized. He realized that the people of Ithaca are rust people, are the uncivilized people. He tried to make them mild and soft. Through soft degrees, subdue them to the useful and the good. In what manner Ulysses praised his son? That by his wisdom, that by his prudence, his son tried to make the people of Ithaca useful and good. He tried to make them civilized. Most blameless is he. Ulysses says that he is blameless. He is without any charge. He is without any blame. In his absence, centered in the sphere of common duties, discern not to fail in office of tenderness. Again, Ulysses praises that in his absence, he was busy in his duties, he was centered in his common duties, and he never failed his duties. All the time, he discharged duties with tenderness, with softness, with wisdom, and pay meet adoration to my whole soul, household goods. He also said in his absence that he kept the dignity of the gods and goddesses of the family. He adored them, he worshipped them in his absence. When I'm gone, when he was not in Ithaca, he works his work and I mine. See in what when he says that in his absence, Ulysses, that his son was busy in discharging his duties and he himself was busy in fulfilling his duties. Next, the point takes us to the company of the mariners. And seeing what manner Ulysses addresses his friends, other mariners. He said, there lies the port is there. The vessel puffs her sail, that the wind is puffing the sail. It means the sea is about to go, the ship is about to go. On the other hand, the sea is full of darkness, there gloom the dark, and the broad sea, the sea is wide. You see in what manner Ulysses invites his mariners, his fellow mariners, that the sea is dark, the sea is wide, and he addresses to them, okay, my mariners, and he says that these are the souls that have toiled and route, that these are the souls, the persons, these are the mariners that are the souls who have worked hard with him, and these are the persons who worked with him and thought with me. Again, Ulysses says, these are the souls, these are the people, these are the mariners who worked with him, toiled with him, thought with him in a line of courage, in a line of battling spirit. That ever with a frolic welcome look, the thunder and the sunshine. He said, in what manner these mariners always welcome, either it was the time of thunder, either it was the time of the storm, or it was the time of sunshine, means it was the time of happy time. All the time they welcome the decision of Ulysses and opposed free hearts and free force. If there were time of opposition, they opposed with free will, with free hearts. And again he says, okay, you and I are old. He addresses the mariners or says that this is the time that when he and his mariners are going to the last stage of life, they are becoming the old person. Old age has its honor and its toil. He said the old age is not the bad age. Old age is not the last age. It is full of honor and respect because it is full of experience. Death closes, the chapter of death closes all the chapter of life. That's why he says death is the end of life. That's why he wants to something here before the end of life, some work of novel work. He wants to do something of a great work, may not be done. Okay, he realizes that that he wants to do something great before his death. See in what manner? That is the determination of Ulysses. The ship is ready. The sea is dark. The sea is stormy. And sails are puffed. And the ropes are there. That is the invitation to the mariners. Okay, come with him with the journey. And he further, Ulysses speaks, not unbecoming means becoming man that is strove with gods. That he was a man. These are the people, these are the mariners, are those people who fought with the gods in the Trojan War. He recalls the Trojan War when these people fought with great courage, with equal person, with peers in the battlefield. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The night is reaching. The dark is about to come. And it says the light began to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes, the day is going to end. The evening is about to come. The long day wanes, the day is going to end. Light start twinkling from the point of the rocks. The slow moon climbs. The moon is coming slowly and slowly. The night is about to come. The night is reaching. The deep moons, the deep moon rounds the many voices. There are some horrible voices. The voice of mourning, the voice of weeping. Even at that stage, Ulysses is not depressed. Ulysses does not lose the courage. He invites the mariners, come my friends. See in what manner he invites the mariners and the spirit of Ulysses, the spirit of courage. It is not too late to seek a newer world. A message to us that it is not too late to seek a newer world, that it is never late to go on a new journey. It is never late to seek a new world. It is never late to find new knowledge. Means all the time. It is the first time that we go to the new world, to new things. We can open the new chapters of knowledge. That's why he invites push off and sitting well in order to smite the sounding pharaohs. He addresses the mariner, says, okay, sitting well in order to smite the sounding pharaohs, invites them to move the pharaohs, the sounding, because there was sounds in the waves. For my purpose hold to sail beyond the sunset. So in what manner he invite the sailors, that his purpose is to sail beyond the sunset, beyond this end of this journey. And the baths of all the western stars until I die. Until I die. The point Ulysses wants to cross all the sea, all the limits of the sunset, and on baths of all the western stars until I die. Until Ulysses said, till his death, he wants to move and move. He wants to go on a journey. It may be that the gulfs will wash away down. There is fear in the mind of Ulysses that the waves may take them away. Again, there is a fear in the mind of Ulysses. These gulfs may wash them down. They might die away. They might pass away. It may be we shall touch the happy isle. Again, there is a possibility. Again, there is a hope that they may reach to the happy island. Happy island means heaven. He desires that after death they might meet to the warriors and see the great Achilles. He recalls the great god Achilles that in the battlefield he fought bravely. Perhaps he would be able to meet there, whom we know that he is familiar with that person because they fought greatly in the battle of Trojan War. The final 6 lines are full of courage, full of meaning, and gives a message. What is that message? Though much is taken, much abides. He realizes that in the battle of life, that in the journey of life, they achieved more, they lost more. Abide means there are so many promises in the battle of life, in the journey of life. The much is taken, the much is left. Though we are not now that strength which in the old days. He realizes that it is the old days. They do not have such a strength of that young time. The old days is reaching to them. It was a time when moved earth and heaven. He said, he recalled the past that there was a time, the young age, when they have the power to move earth and heaven sky together. But this is the old age, that which we are. On equal temper of heroic hearts that, okay, they were made of the heroic spirits. At that time, they could move earth and sky together. They are made of that spirit, with the spirit of heroes, with the spirit of the battling, made weak by time and fate. Ulysses realizes that his power has gone. He has become weak. Time has made him to surrender. And he says time and fate are against him. What may be, but strong in will. Okay, time is against him. Fate is against him because old age is there. But he says that all the time he is strong in desire, in will, in determination. Strong in will. And in what manner is Ulysses ends his speech? To struggle. To seek means to find out. Not to yield, not to surrender. See, Ulysses gives a message that in the journey of life, in the battle of life, we must keep the strong will. We should struggle. We should try to find out new things. We should never surrender. It is the message of Ulysses to us. See in what manner the poem begins. Ulysses is speaker. The poem is the form of dramatic monologue. Ulysses is not happy with the people of Ithaca because they were lazy people. They were busy in hoarding, eating, and sleeping. Ulysses says that these people fail to understand the nature of Ulysses. They fail to understand the spirit of Ulysses. He says that he was made of that spirit, that he was made of the great courage and power. He said that it is the last time. He wants to something great. He wants to do something great before death. He compares himself with a sinking star. He said that his life just like a gate. The experience of life is just like a gate which invites him to go further and further. And he recalls his son Telemachus, that in his absence, his son discharged his duties honestly. He also paid great honor and respect to the family gods and goddesses. What may be, he says, okay. He again invites the sailors to go on journey. They are made of that spirit. In the end, he's afraid that the gulf might wash them away. That, okay, he also expresses hope that he's optimistic that they would be able to reach heaven and they would meet their actually the great warrior. Finally, he says that much is traveled, much is taken, much is left, and okay, they are not able to discharge all these things with the power of the past, with the strength of the past. It is the old age. There will be time when they can move earth and heaven together, but they are not at this time. They are made weak by time and fate, but they are strong in will, strong in will, in determination. He gives a message, he invites us to struggle, to seek and to find, not to yield. And thanks.